a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal. For all the nations have drunk the maddening wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her, and the merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries. Then I heard another voice from heaven say, "Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Give back to her as she has given. Pay her back double for what she's done. Pour her a double portion from her own cup. Give her as much torment and grief as the glory and luxury she gave herself." And of course, we have the Ever Given, which was 1,300 feet long, which comes to and then 193 feet wide, which each come to 13. So you got 1,300 is 13, and 1 plus 9 plus 3 is 13.
And 13 is 99 and 99, which is 198. President J. Kennedy 198. Ever Given 107. Superman 107. Evergreen 99. Most High 99. Evergreen one or Ever Given 107 is 206. God 26, but 20 times 6 is 120 with the truth 120. 120 spelled out comes 141. Mr. President 141. I am the storm 141. Hit it.
Yeah, I also found it interesting that they're saying that the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys her cargoes anymore. Cargoes of gold, silver, precious stones, and pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, and scarlet cloth, every sort of citron wood, and articles of every kind made of ivory, costly wood, bronze, iron, and marble. But I also thought it was great because it says, "Woe, woe to you, great city, dressed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. In 1 hour, such great wealth has been brought to ruin." And of course, we've got articles saying Ever Given ship stuck in the Suez Canal cost the economy $400 million per hour. And you said Suez is also Zeus?
And then we said 400.
Yes,
Interesting.
400
Gitmo's
million.
wheelchair accessible. George H.W. Bush 400. But see, Star Space Force all the way 198. We are the news now 198. Coincidence there? It's 198. Elephant in the room 198. See, Space Force, it turned all the QRS-11 chips off, or the QRS-14s or QRS-17 chips. That could just turn the ship off, and they made them all anchor. And they turned them off all in the right spot. They moved them out of the way so the Ever Given could draw a big giant dick and balls. See, dick is 27, balls is 46. And 27 and 46 is JFK and best. And the best is yet to come, 228. The best Kennedy to come, 228. I'm on a mission from God, 228. So dick and balls is 73, children 73. They're telling us that there's children on that ship, you see. And so there was also a butt out there, I guess. And so somehow there was a sex act out there, and the ship got pregnant, and then it went and birthed itself and beats itself on the side of the canal, basically on the uterus. And it sat there for 6 days, 144 hours, just like drop 1440. 6 hours, there's 144 hours in 6 days. And drop 1440, there's 1440 minutes in a day. And then all of a sudden it birthed from the land to the water. See, mama broke her water, and we go from water to land. So they're undoing all the spells, you see. Go ahead, Mickey.
It also looks like a white rabbit. So the Red Sea, sea to canal to lake, sea to lake is Mar-a-Lago. And I found it really interesting that Moses parted the Red Sea on the right side, if you're looking down at the map, on the right side of the rabbit ear. And this was parted on the left side of the rabbit ear, possibly completing what was started. And this just gets me. So Revelation 18:23, it says, "The light of a lamp will never shine in you again. The voice of bridegroom and bride will never be heard in you again. Your merchants were the world's important people. By your magic spell, all the nations were led astray. In her was found the blood of prophets and of God's holy people. of all who have been slaughtered on the earth. That's bold. So it's also the story of Moses, if you go back to the First Testament. And I found this really interesting too, just all the similarities. So I'm going to drop that slide in for anyone to read. But I just have one more slide to go, and that is what I found really interesting is obviously, so now Jupiter is entering into the age of Aquarius while Saturn is doing a full retrograde in the Capricorn. And Jupiter represents, Jupiter in Aquarius represents the mixing of the waters, the new technologies, the 𝗧𝗥 𝗦𝗧𝗏, the slaves being set free. What's interesting here is that in August 15th, 1971 is when Nixon took us off the gold standard. I'm not saying that 𝗧𝗏 hasn't already been implemented or that the financial system hasn't already been put in place, but we might look to see a huge reveal come this August 15th, 2021, because that would be the 50-year delta of when, as I understand, they forced Nixon to take us off the gold standard. And that would also mark the 150-year delta of when Pike, that Pike and Mazzini letter that was written. So that would have been the letter about the 3 world wars that would end humanity. And that would have been forced upon Nixon to sign on the 100-year delta. But if we were to implement 𝗧𝗏 𝗦𝗧𝗏 on the 15th of August, that would therefore, sort of end their plan officially on a jubilee, which would be somewhat poetic.
And it's exactly 50 years, America 50, Nazi 50. They're the Nazis, or America. And yeah, it's August 15th, 1971. And of course, Nazi in 1971. 1 and 9 is 10, 7 and 1 is 8, 18, 666. Nazi, 666.
So Psalm 19, I keep coming back to it because it's the story of what we're seeing in the stars above. It says, and this was written by King David. It says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth its handiwork. So that's what we're looking at. The firmament is the stars above. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line, which they're talking about, their ecliptic line, is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he hath set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. What kind of a race? Maybe a presidential race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit into the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.
Excellent job, Mickey.
Thank you. Can't wait to hear Sabrina.
Well, next time we'll actually have to get together and do the numbers so I actually know what you're going to say. Because sometimes I have more to say, but it just doesn't fit in right. And hopefully it wasn't too much and it was just the right amount to show what we can do.
I love it. It was good freestyle.
Oh, I love it. I was just walking around the parking lot and just winging it. And my phone got low and I had to come start plugging it in. Scott, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Top of your head in the bus still, or is it gone? Or
yeah, no, we pulled in to get this thing washed today to make it look presentable for that event. I know you guys, I'm sitting here shaking my head when I'm listening to you, and the only comment I can make, I don't know how. I almost need a universal on what you guys are laying out. I need a recording so I can slow this down. Number 3 is, it sounds like you guys can put together or make I believe everything I believe that I've been in class a year ago. And
well, you're breaking up really bad. Can you hear us really well? Are you able to hear us really well, Scott? Can somebody else talk to him?
Scott, can you hear us? He must have lost us. He was pulling up, he said, to they're in a park for a second, I think. Scott?
He muted himself.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me better?
Oh, way
Yes.
better. You were breaking up really bad. We didn't get half of it.
Sorry about that. I had you on a speaker. I got one of my security guys here, and he was listening the last time we were talking, so I couldn't hear you very well. So we put it on a speaker. And those things don't really have a good microphone, if any at all. So what I was saying was, I sit here listening to you and come to the conclusion I need a university education from Mickey and and you on everything. All I can say about everything that I'm hearing here is I need a recording, hopefully record it so I can slow it down and go through this much more slowly. But what I take away from this is people ask me, why do I have this conviction, this absolution of Donald Trump being the guy that you hear me talk about, that this war is won, or is going to be, and humanity's going to be free. And people ask me a lot of questions and nuances about how I know this. And all I can say is, I don't know how I know. I really don't. I just know. And now you guys making a case for all this on a level that it's going to take me time to grasp, just allows me to go to sleep at night peacefully. If I get pressed to the wall for my audience, I can learn this and say, well, here's why I know. But now, for the time being, all I can tell them is just trust me. This is the way it's going to end up. So I'm truly blown away by everything, Mickey. That the more I hear you, the more impressed I am with what you know. And negative, I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I don't know how this works. It's like this thing's been planned out. Your ability to deliver geometry as fast as you do. I'm guessing it's in your head. You've done it so many times, but for me to follow this as you roll it out, all I can say is this is way above my pay grade. I got some work to do, but I'm blown away, and it just gives me that comfort that at the end of it all, I'm not going to look like I was an idiot. I was wrong.
No, you're spot on. You're dead on the money. You can't say anything wrong. If you're saying everything great about Donald Trump, you are understating it. That's what you're doing so far. You wait till you find out, because in the next part, Sabrina Gal is going to drop some stuff that's going to blow your mind.
How quickly can we do that?
We're going to do it right now. Hit it, Sabrina Gal.
Okay, Scott, I'm going to go slowly because I tend to speak too fast when I get nervous, I think. So I'll go slow so it'll help you understand a little bit better.
Why would you be nervous?
I don't know.
Curious.
There's like 200 people on tonight.
Oh, that's nothing. That's maybe twice as much normal.
I know. We've been saying this story, I think, for four months. But
we've had 230 before.
Have we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. So I'm going to talk about the Jesus strand. And I know many folks have heard this. I added some gematria to it to make it a little more exciting. I felt that it was time that I do that. And the Jesus strand, if we go back in time and we think about what we learned, I personally was raised Catholic. I know there's some folks here that are Protestant. We all come from different denominations. And most of us were told that Christ was divine, that he did not marry, that we know what happened to him from the age all the way up to the age of 12, but from 12 to about 33, or now we're learning 36, was the age that he was actually crucified. He was married, and he married a figure in the Bible that we're very familiar with. Her name is Mary Magdalene, and she was an apostle. She was his lover, and she was his wife. We know that Mary Magdalene, at least in Catholicism, was portrayed to us as a prostitute, as a whore, as a fallen woman. But of the 777 books of the Bible, there were 711 missing, and it left us with 66 books. And we're going to learn more about this relationship between Mary Magdalene and Christ. But right now I'm going to focus on the Jesus strand. And when I say the Jesus strand, I'm speaking particularly about the progeny, about the descendants of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene.
Can I jump in real quick?
Certainly.
So they gave us 66 books, which 66 spelt out comes 149, the anointed one, because the devil thinks he's the anointed one. And they kept 711 from us, and 7 times 11, 77, power 77. When Trump said he's bringing power back to the people, Christ is 77, power 77, 77 is 154. I am the chosen one, 154.